Hi everyone. So finally we are here today for today's session which is on the top Indian B school rankings for the 2019 season. I understand that this is something which is very exciting and is something which a lot of you are taking a lot of keen interest in knowing. So I'm glad that so finally we are here today for today's session which is on the top. So I would request everybody to kindly share the YouTube link, live streaming link with all your friends, all your fellow aspirants, people in B schools currently, people who are preparing for CAT, preparing for GDPI. Everybody needs to know this because today, on behalf of Unacademy, me being a CAT 100 Tyler, myself and an alumnus of one of the top B schools in India will be unveiling the top Indian B school rankings for 2019. So here today, we've tried to look up a lot of comprehensive parameters, not just placements or CDC, brand value, alumni network. Me, working in the corporate sector for the last few years, have a good idea of connections as to what people perceive of the various B school brands, and every bit of that, everything has been taken into account. The placement opportunities, the ROI aspect, the demand of students, the percentile cutoffs, the infrastructure opportunities, the networking opportunities. So all of that has been taken into account as we come with the top Indian B school ranking 2019. Just one request to everybody. Immediately as we start with the rankings in the next 1-2 minutes, please share this URL of this live session on YouTube with all your friends and fellow CAT aspirants. Post it in every group on WhatsApp or Facebook related to CAT, related to MBA, related to GDPI. Everybody needs to know what are the B school ranking, but this is the ranking we're launching for 2019. So make sure everybody's joining in the next couple of minutes. Also, before we start, I wanted to introduce you to a new concept that we've introduced on Unacademy Plus, which is the subscription model. So I'll just put a bit of context to it because a lot of you are confused as to how it works. So you understand that this course, which was the favorite course of all CAT aspirants last year, that is a complete course on DI and LR, which saw a lot of traction from various aspirants. Given the fact that we had a huge success story with a lot of people reaching the 99 plus percentile, including people who would fail to score 20 in DILR in CAT 2017, they went on to march towards even as high as 99.99 percentile in CAT 2018. So I understand that everybody wants to be a part of the DILR course as well as the Quants course, which is the shortcuts and tricks based course. But this time we've changed the concept a little bit. So last year what we had is I was launching 5-6 courses for CAT, then a couple of courses for workshops, ZAT, then something for GDPR and so on is planned and so on. But this time, we're integrating everything within the Unacademy Plus model or the Unacademy Plus, what is called the CAT Pass. So what is this CAT Pass? So this is something which will give you unlimited access to all Plus courses, each and every Plus course that you're part of for the duration for which you subscribe to the CAT Pass, you'll be getting access to it. So ideally recommend, given that the 1-year pass is the cheapest option available, if you look at it, it's the 50% discount on that. Make sure if you're availing the 1-year pass, because that would mean all my DILR courses, all my Quants courses, all the courses on mocks analysis once the mock season begins, all the GDPI courses, that decision making, everything will come in the 1-year pass. So you might be seeing on the next slide, this is the way it is. It's rupees 30,000, and it's not just for my courses. This includes in one pass you get all your top educators. Educators like a Patrick D'Souza, who's a 5-time 100 percentiler. Educators like Bharat Gupta and a lot more top educators as well. Other than, as you know, I'm already a CAT 100 percentiler, a DIAL 100 percentiler as well. So this is something which you'll definitely be getting, plus a lot more. So make sure all of you are subscribing. It's available here. This is to make sure you're subscribing the CAT pass. It's available at this link, unacademy.com/plus/gold. So you can copy this link and you can avail this pass. Once you have taken for the 12 months, note your entire CAT preparations for CAT 2019, the GDPR season next year, everything gets sorted. In case you're only a GDPR aspirant, then I would recommend taking a 1 month or maybe a 2 month pass, 1 month twice pass for the GDPR season. You'll get access to those sessions as well. Remember, courses for all CAT we're running throughout the year, so make sure all of you are focusing on this pass. Now then, we'll get started with the most important thing everybody's been looking forward to, that is the B School Rankings 2019. So one by one, we'll be going into the top B schools from rank 1 onwards. I understand that there is a bit of subjectivity that comes into this, but I've tried to look at all possible analysis, discuss with a lot of people, factor in what industry experts say, given that I'm somebody who's been in the industry working for almost the last 4.5 to 5 years, so have an understanding about what corporates perceive about alumni, the various B schools. I've also factored into account the mindset that people come into a B school with. What do CAT aspirants want, given that I'm associated with the CAT industry as well for the last 4 to 5 years. So everything has been put into account, including the 1-year programs like the program at ISB that has also been roped in the B School Rankings 2019. Guess what? The next slide itself shall be the slide which announces rank number 1. So again, a reminder, as I'm starting with the rank number 1, please make sure you're inviting all your friends, preparing for CAT 2019, preparing for the GDPI for 2019 admissions, those who are in B schools as well. Tag everybody in the comment section. Ask everybody to watch the video. Please share it in all your college groups, all your Facebook groups, WhatsApp groups. This is going to be very, very important. As you can say, it is brought to you by me on behalf of Unacademy. So, rank 1, I think that's the easiest one. So, rank 1, we'll still give it to IIM Ahmedabad. I understand there are a number of you people are a little concerned about there being a lot of importance on diversity, but at the same time, despite diversity, they're doing really well. They're still the number 1 brand, and that is why we put IIM Ahmedabad at rank 1. And given that A is what people perceive as the pinnacle of MBA in India, this is definitely the most obvious choice for rank 1. The next two will obviously, next to alphabets that come to your mind after A is B and C, but then a number of people are confused out of B and C, which is better. So when I'm giving rankings, I'll also be comparing rank colleges within clusters, including which college you can opt for in case you have a certain specialization in mind, in case you have a certain targets in mind, or in case you have certain profile in mind. So make sure you're listening to reasoning as well for each of these rankings. So in rank 2, we'll still put IIM Bangalore ahead of rank 3 IIM Calcutta. So even though we have ABC as your top 3 ranks. Now, a lot of you will argue, what about the fact that C is great for finance? I agree, C is considered to be great for finance, but I would still say, even if you're a finance enthusiast, among the 3, this is the sequence that you should opt for. Even though people say for consulting, A and B is the best, I don't think you should be focusing on it. Within ABC, all 3 are really good, and the criteria should be based on brands. That is A, followed by B, followed by C. One important connotation here, even though A is slightly better than B, slightly better than C, I would say all 3 are reasonably comparable, which means in case you are in a conundrum based on your city on which you based on, or you have preferences based on the part of the country, then you can definitely go ahead with it. For example, I've seen a lot of people from Eastern India prefer C. That is perfectly fine. Even if you convert A or B, going ahead with C. Similarly, I've seen people who from the southern parts of the country preferring B to an A. That is also perfectly fine. Within ABC, it matters more on you choosing your comfort zone rather than anything. Also, do not get too much perturbed about the finance and consulting debate between AB versus C and so on. Average placements and all, I would say, is more or less similar, so do not go too much into the figures part of it as well. So rank 1, 2, 3 was pretty sorted. Then rank 4, we'll put the ISB's 1-year program. Now, a lot of you will argue, why not ISB ahead of ABC? Why is ISB just after ABC? The reason I would say ISB after ABC is pretty simple. In India, most people want to do the MBA as soon as possible. As soon as possible, they want to finish their education. Given that ISB requires you 2 to 3, preferably at least 3 years of experience before you join the college, it doesn't quite work that well with every bit of the population. Also, given that the batch size has been kept on being increasing by ISB, I would still say ABC is a slightly better choice ahead of ISB. Note, in case you're somebody with greater than 3 years experience and in case you want to continue in the same discipline, then yes, ISB is a very good option, but ISB is not a very good option for those of you whose purpose of doing an MBA is to change your discipline. So for example, let's say you're working in IT and for 3-4 years and you want to move into tech consulting roles, then yes, ISB is a better option if you have 3-4 years of experience. But given that some of you might want to switch to an absolutely different domain like marketing or finance, I would say in that case, it is a better bet to go with the traditional ABC compared to the ISB program. Note, you can always put in your comments in the chat section below for anything that you want to make, and I can address them as well during the session. So the idea behind giving you a complete reasoning is because I understand for some of you, ISB might be a better program, but I'm talking about a general view of Indians and their mindset. I would still say ABC ahead of ISB, but in case you're very sure that you want to stick to the same discipline and you have greater than 3 years of experience, then ISB does take a seat above ABC. But given that most people tend to go for an MBA because they want to change in discipline, in that case, it is better to go with a regular ABC. Next comes rank 5. So in rank 5, the college which is very close to ABC, after ABC, if I have to put a college, that has to be L amongst the 2-year program. So ISB is definitely better than L, but after that we've got to put IIM Lucknow. Especially it is very good for people looking for consulting, ops and so on. So that is why I would definitely put IIM Lucknow at rank 5. The moment I put IIM Lucknow at rank 5, I'm sure some of you are debating on two more colleges, which is Excel and FMS, which I definitely agree are comparable. So incidentally, these three constitute our ranks 5 to 7. I'll again be giving a reasoning as to in which case L or Excel FMS, which of them makes more sense. An overall perspective, the thing that wins for IIM Lucknow is it is considered as the old IIM and the fourth IIM in the list, the closest IIMs to an ABC. I understand there are a lot of you talk about the fact that in IIM Lucknow, the pressure is huge. The professors supposedly are a lot more rigorous, but please understand, from a top B school, you expect a rigorous program. Keeping the fact in mind, you expect a rigorous program from a top B school, I would say you cannot put as a negative, but then you've got to put IIM Lucknow as an ahead factor. However, in case you are somebody, because I know a lot of people who are entering B schools who want a chilled out life. In case you're wanting a chilled out B school life, in that case, I would say avoid IIM Lucknow and go for these two as your, if you have these two as your alternate options. Excel and FMS is definitely going to be more chilled out than IIM Lucknow. However, in case you want to experience a proper B school life, which will give you a stepping stone for your MBA corporate career, then IIM Lucknow would be the better bet. Remember, it gives you an association with ABC. It's much closer than an Excel or FMS can provide. Rank 6 would be XRI Jamshedpur. XRI Jamshedpur has got two programs. One is BM and HR. BM is the regular MBA, which is what we've taken as the flagship program and put it as rank 6. Note, XRI, some of you might argue, placements wise, it is ahead of IIM Lucknow. But as I said, it's not just about placements, it's also about the brand. Think about it as one thing. You're doing your MBA not for just 2-3 years. That is your initial placements. You're doing it for maybe a 20-year period. So at that point of time, the IIM tag will come in handy. We still, in India, we have a preference for the IIT IIM tag. But having said that, the XRI brand is also very, very strong in India. Also, the XRI alumni network and the XRI bonding between the batches is much stronger, which is something which will definitely work in your favor. So XRI number 6. However, having said that, what about the HR program? This is something a lot of you will ask. So HR, yes, it's a very, very good program. Only if, and I mark it, only if you are genuinely interested in HR. If you're confused as to what MBA discipline to eventually go for, I would say always stick to a regular MBA like the BM program. It always makes more sense to go for a regular BM program in case you are not very sure as to what specialization you want to go for. Do not gamble with HR in such cases. Well, Rachit, as you can see, the reason why we've kept it in a session form, I'm talking about courses differently. For example, I've talked about BM separate from HR. So, XLNI HR, if you believe you're genuinely interested in HR, then definitely it should be still be at par with BM. However, if HR is your fourth choice, I would say go to HR in Excel only if you do not convert any of the top 15 colleges. Then only go for Excel HR. That includes IFT, MDI and so on being placed ahead of Excel HR in case you are not very sure that you want to pursue an HR program. Similarly, for IIM Lucknow, in case you're looking for programs like ABM and so on, I would say it is better to avoid program unless there's a situation where you've got a call where you've converted only ABM from amongst the top 20 B schools. Then you might go for ABM, but otherwise we are just talking about a flagship that is the PGP program. It's better to avoid courses like ABM and so on, given that most of you have got no background in agriculture. In case some of you are from backgrounds which are relevant for agriculture like dairy-based graduation disciplines or food technology-based graduate disciplines, then yes, ABM can be regarded as a good option, but otherwise I would say better to avoid. Because remember, do not put your entire career in a path which is absolutely undecided. So some of you are asking, what if I want to change sector? So as I've said, if you want to change sector, make sure you're not going for a one-year MBA program like ISB. The primary reason why I said ISB one-year program is not good if you want to change your discipline. Rank 7 is FMS Delhi. I said the three of them come in the same bucket. Now, I would like to mention something about FMS Delhi. In case you are somebody for whom spending 20 lakhs in an MBA program is a burden. In case 20 lakhs MBA is a burden for your family, it's a huge burden for your family, then please put FMS ahead of L or Excel. But in case, and given that most MBA grads, people aspiring for MBA are able to afford a 15-20 lakhs fee, I would say it's better to always experience L or Excel. But in case you realize that 20 lakhs is something you cannot bear, then definitely FMS is a very good option. I said these three colleges are comparable. But otherwise, I would say it's L or Excel which is greater than FMS. Remember, with FMS, the biggest problem that you might face is college campus life, because that impacts in networking, bonding between multiple batches and so on. So, now that we are done with the top 7, any guesses for the next one in the list? Rank 8, I believe, is a much more simpler choice. That is IIM Kozhikode, which is a rapidly improving college. If you look at IIM Kozhikode today versus IIM Kozhikode 5-6 years back when Indore was above Kozhikode, Kozhikode has done really well in the recent past, given that it has started a lot later than some of the other IIMs. It has done very well. Also, Kozhikode is a college which was a kind of a pioneer as far as this diversity bit, as far as the gender diversity and the various other aspects of diversity. They were probably the pioneers who started it 5-6 years back. So Kozhikode is ranked 8. Note, Kozhikode, only problem that some of you might be facing is a lot of you have this concerns about a part of the country. Some of you have concerns about going to South India and so on. So in case you have preference for very strong preference for North India, then you can prefer maybe an Indore or an MDI over Kozhikode. But ideally, I would say, in case you don't have any bias, then Kozhikode is the place to be in. Remember, it also comes in with the coveted IIM tag. Please remember, various places, as you go forward in life, IIM tag will come in handy. The B School brand will come in handy. And that is again where IIM and XLRI score over the FMS tag. You cannot just judge by batch size. Because remember, the more the batch size, it means more the presence of that college in various B school circles. Not just B school circles, not just in competition, but also in the corporate world. There'll be a greater presence of such colleges with greater batch size, which automatically means you have more opportunities to switch or more people to look forward to forward your resumes or make switching easier in the next 20 years. Remember, that matters more than just your one-time placement at your B school. So do not look at batch size as too much of a negative thing. The next college, I understand, is a pretty debatable. A lot of you will question why I am Indore, why not FPGen and so on. The reason I'll tell you is very simple. I am Indore is your gateway to getting opportunities in what is considered old IIMs. In case a lot of these colleges have this criteria that it's either old IIMs or Excel or FMS. This is where being from an IIFT, being from an MDI, you might miss out vis-a-vis being from an old IIM. Remember, MBA is not a 2-year ordeal, it's a 20-year thing. This is where the association with being part of an old IIM will really help you. And I'm saying this 5 years after graduating. So IIM Indore is something which you should be looking at. I understand a lot of you will say batch size, but please understand again, the best thing about Indore is whichever place you go to whichever company, you'll find Indore people in abundance in those companies, which means your switching options post MBA is a lot more higher if you are from Indore. Finally, we'll cap off the top 10 before we move on to the ranks 11 to 20 and so on. Rank 10 is SP Gen. However, for one segment of audience, I would say avoid SP Gen if you are not sure of MBA. If you're not sure of MBA, then avoid SP Gen. The reason is SP Gen asks you to give your specialization up front. It's always better to go for a regular MBA where your specialization choice is something you can play around it in your second year. For example, you might just think that, okay, fine, you might just like finance, but you have no idea about finance. What if at the end of first year, you realize finance is not your thing? Keeping that in mind, it's always better to go for a regular MBA. The same reason why I said Excel BM is what you should be looking at. Excel HR only if you're genuinely interested in HR. Again, please understand, B school brands are being given weightage because MBA is something you do as a part of a 20-year thing. And even if you're going abroad later on for higher studies or further higher studies or for jobs, again, the IIM brand, Excel brand, these are the ones which are more recognized. So again, that is the reason why we are putting them in a different bracket. So this was the top 10. We'll move with the remaining colleges 11 to 20. Before that, I wanted to inform all of you, those who joined just now, that in Unacademy Plus, we started the concept of the CAT subscription pass. What this does is, it will give you access to not just my courses on DILR, on QA, some hacks on VARC as well, GDPI, and that decision making, but not just me, but unlimited access to all of the top educators. One single pass, unlimited access for the entire year, and it is just priced at 30K for the entire year subscription, and your cat gets taken care of not just by me but fellow cat toppers, cat 100 percentilers, and so on. So we'll be having all the live classes as part of it, including my Diala course. My Diala course starting on Feb 9th, which means before that, all of you must subscribe to the Cat Pass. There'll be 27 lessons plus a quiz as part of the course, and then we'll move on to the quants as well, and GDPI and so on. So make sure all of you are going to unacademy.com/plus and immediately being a part of this course. Moving on, rank 11. In rank 11, we put IFT. Now, some of you will argue about two components here, that is IFT Delhi and Kolkata. Since IFT themselves do not like to discriminate between a Delhi and Kolkata, we've avoided from our side to discriminate, but I would say Delhi is definitely deserve the rank 11. Kolkata, in case you want to look at it as a separate entity, you may, but remember this, IFT is somebody who looks at it as a combined placement opportunity. Maybe a couple of companies might prefer Delhi people to Kolkata, but then as such you're eligible for most of it. Having said that, in case you're getting colleges like rank 12, MDI Gurgaon and so on, you can opt for that ahead of IFT Kolkata, but definitely IFT Delhi would be better than MDI Gurgaon. Rank 13 would be JBIMS. Now, the reason for rank 13 being JBIMS and we little bit drop in the rankings of JBIMS is this, that you've got to look at India as a whole. JBIMS kind of is just a Mumbai-centric college. It does not have too much of awareness outside the state. Outside the state, there's not as much awareness or as much keenness on JBIMS, which is where it tends to lose out. However, in case you know that finance is what you surely want to do, then definitely JB, you can put it ahead of an MDI or IFT since they are in the same league. SP Jain was ranked 10, Indore was ranked 9, Sudarshan. Rank 14 would be IIT Bombay, which is again a comparatively cheaper option, and especially IIT Bombay is probably the best of the IITs that are available for an MBA. So IIT Bombay is something you can definitely go for, especially for those of you who are looking for roles in operations, those of you looking for roles in consulting, and even to these days they're coming up well in marketing as well. Those of you looking for roles, especially those from engineering background, IITs is really good. Please note, in case you're from a non-engineering background, I would advise to evaluate other options outside IITs. Outside IITs, you can look at options, but in case you're from engineering background, and given that these days there are a lot of these issues on engineers not being given chances in certain colleges or reduced chances in certain colleges and so on, I would say IIT Bombay is a very good haven to be into in case you are an engineer. The next up, comparable option in operations, definitely a better option in operations is NITI Mumbai. So if you're sure that you want to do it in operations, I would say it should be NITI above IIT Bombay. But in case you want to keep the consulting part open as well as a bit of a scope of marketing as well, then I would say definitely IIT Bombay above NITI. Keeping that in mind, we've kept IIT Bombay with NITI. Having said that, in case you are from NITI And if you want to go for operations for sure, and if you have an operations background, I would always say NITI is ahead of IIT Bombay. As a matter of fact, if you're really serious about operations, I would say NITI is ahead of each of these colleges. Except maybe till IIM Indore, I would say IIM Indore. After that, I would say FPGN, you might not, but otherwise, I would say compared to IIFT, MDI, IIT Bombay, and so on, NITI would be the best place in case you have an ops background, you have a manufacturing work ex, and you're very sure this is what you want to do. Gentle reminder, please share this YouTube link with all your friends, all your fellow aspirants, all those people are preparing for CAT, preparing for B schools, studying in B schools. Make sure everybody's getting to watch, because this is the official rankings launch by me on behalf of Unacademy. Rank 16 would be NM Mumbai. Again, I understand a lot of you will come up with criticism on NM Mumbai, especially given the fact that it charged a lot, including the fact that it charged for the CDPI processes and so on. But please remember, NM Mumbai is located in a very convenient location. It is a college which might be pretty much on the charging front, but has reasonably good placements. And if you have a good profile, NM Mumbai, you can crack one of the good fit firms. Also, NM Mumbai have a decent balance of companies in other sectors as well. So, I've heard some people talking about placements being inflated and so on. Please understand, I would say do not assume that placements are inflated. There could be rumors as well. Also, a bit of the components jig is something which is a standard practice which is adopted at the corporate level itself to shoot up the CDCs, which is only what most of the B schools in India are using. So do not just judge one particular B school on that basis. Again, batch size is not something that we're looking at as a priority. We're looking at the brand as a priority. Because remember, MBA is something you're doing once and it's for 20 years. Yes, in case you're from the engineering background, and I've already mentioned, IITs are really, really good. Rank 17 would be IIM Shillong, which is the 7th IIM. So after the 6 IIMs, you have a unique space where it's IIM Shillong. Note, the only way I put IIM Shillong behind colleges like NM and so on is because of the geography issue. A lot of companies may not want to visit Shillong, but at the end of the day, Shillong has a very good video networking systems in place to ensure that their placements aren't impacted. Also, for those of you who have a fascination for scenic beauty, I can assure you Shillong and Kozhikode are two places you will definitely really love. So after IIM Shillong, we move on to the next one, which is a college which takes via SNAP. So for all of you who've got very good scores in SNAP, you can look at SIBM Pune. SIBM Pune is really good, and especially for things like marketing and all, it is a very, very good option. Again, every year I get a lot of questions on NM versus SIBM. I always recommend, especially if you're not sure about discipline to go for, I would always say NM is better. Again, as I've always mentioned, it is more about the brand, more about alumni base, which is stronger, because they will be the ones who will be referring your CVs when you're reaching out for switching. Do not just look at the one-time average placements being 1 lakh higher or 50k higher and so on. At the end of the day, I personally believe getting placed in a 15 lakh job versus 15.5 hardly matters. So do not get too much perturbed about what you see in a placement report, one figure called average CDC. All the more given that you never know what all components are included in the average CDC to spice it up. Do not get obsessed by just this one number, which is why all these colleges every year you hear reports talking about 25 to 30% increase every year. So try and look at a college from a holistic perspective. That is exactly what we've tried to do here. So Darshan, IIM Indore, I understand you're concerned about a batch size, but please understand, IIM Indore is a place where if you study, you're part of the old IIMs. So wherever they're looking for top 6 IIMs plus Excel FMS only, you get access to that. And that matters a lot. Otherwise, if you're from any of the other colleges, you will not get access to these opportunities. Firstly. Secondly, the factors, please understand, batch size will just impact maybe your first time placements. What about the fact that IIM Indore, having a large batch size, have a much stronger presence across the globe, across various corporations, which makes it much more easier for you to switch. So IIM Pune at rank 18. Rank 19 would be the best college out of the new IIMs category, that is IIM Ranchi. So that is probably the oldest among the new IIMs, and it is doing really, really well, and it can very soon be said to be comparable with Shillong. Note, I'm again talking about a regular program. There's an additional program which is for MHRM. So in case you're interested in HR, your sequence should be as follows: Excel, TIS, MDI HR, and then you can look at Ranchi's MHRM program. Please understand, some of you are arguing about one of the universities being private. We try to look at everything together, private, non-private, everything, and we've tried to look at B schools. Obviously, we've given a weightage to the brands as well, but at the same time, we looked at various aspects too. Rank 20 would be IIM Raipur, which is probably the second best out of these new IIM slot as the cap calls. Those with cap calls, you know that these are the two ones you should primarily target. That is Ranchi and Raipur. These are really, really decent ones, and especially given that they have a lower batch size and they get a few people getting placed in consulting roles, that automatically takes care of it. Having said that, the new IIMs I would recommend is a very good option for those with 2-3 years of work-ex. For freshers, I would say it is an avoidable option compared to comparable B schools. Also, please know as a fresher, if you're already getting new IIM calls, there's a decent chance you can improve your personnel slightly more and get into a better college next year. So that was rank 11 to 20. So next up, we'll be taking up the next bracket, that is rank 21 to 30. Before that, I wanted to inform all of you about the Unacademy CAT Plus subscription. I hope all of you are aware of the fact that now we moved on to subscription model. Unlike last year, when each of my courses were available for 8K and so on, and you had to pay 8K for DILR, 8K for quants, 8K odd for the workshops, and maybe another 4-5K for that decision making and so on, and again for the GDPR and so on. Now this year, what we've done is, we've done a complete 1-year pass. You can also avail 1 month and 6-month passes, but it's recommended for all of you as a cost saving measure if you're going for a 1-year pass, because that will cover you until the next CAT season, GDPR and everything. The price of it is 30K. Note, in this 30K, you're not just getting all my courses across the entire, but that of all top educators combined. Entire CAT category that includes other CAT 100 percentilers, other graduates from top B schools, other top educators, including people like Bharat Gupta, Patrick D'Souza, and so on, in verbal courses as well by people like Himanshu Das and people like me as well. Also, I'll be chipping in with verbal a bit as well. The entire CAT gets taken care of in 30K, including your ZAT, SNAP, CMAT, and all the other exams with this 1 year pass. So everything within the CAT, a CAT and OMET path, including a GDPI, gets covered in this segment pass. You can drop in anytime, unlimited access to all those courses. You prefer a certain educator's courses, you can do that as well. So make sure all of you are going for this pass. That please note, my DRL Live classes starts on February 9th, which means before that, all of you must enroll. Everybody must ensure they book their pass before February 9th, that is next Saturday. At this time, we'll be starting with the first session as part of this course. Before that, everybody must go to unacademy.com/plus and choose the CAT goal as CAT and book the CAT pass for 1 year. So now we'll continue with ranks 21. Guys, we'll come to IIM Rohtak and so on as well. Rank 21 is TIS. In TIS, we are talking of just one program that is relevant for MBA aspirants. That is the MA in HR program, which is an HR-based course. As I said, if you're looking for HR, your sequence is as follows: Excel, followed by TIS, followed by MDI, followed by FEH, MRD, followed by MHRM in IIM Ranchi. Note again, please go for TIS HR only if you're genuinely interested in HR. Otherwise, please avoid. Do not allow your career decisions to be impacted just by brands. It is not the wisest way. The next rank, that is rank 22, would be IIM Trichy. So some of you are asking about IIM Trichy and Rohtak. So after that, after keeping TIS as a place, you're going to IIM Trichy, which is probably the best of the new IIMs in South India. So those of you in South India, you can actually, if you have a strong preference for South India, you can stick in the cap calls to IIM Trichy. It is kind of comparable to a Raipur or a Ranchi. So again, there's nothing wrong if you're going with geographical preference, because as I know, a lot of people have this thing, people in the east preferring Ranchi, people in the south preferring Trichy and so on. Since they're comparable, doing that is nothing wrong. Next, we look at a college that a lot of you were asking a while back, that is IIT Delhi. The only problem with IIT Delhi is, for non-engineers, I would say it is a dicey college. So preferably, it's a very good college, however, in case you're somebody from the engineering backgrounds. Why is somebody engineering backgrounds? Because IIT Delhi has a very small batch size of 110 and they get placed in very good firms, especially people who are from tech companies or tech backgrounds or from ops backgrounds. They get placed really well in tech companies, in consulting companies, and in ops companies. These are three sectors where you're doing really well. However, in case you're looking for a career in finance or marketing, I would say please avoid IIT Delhi or any of the other IITs, like even the next one in rank, that is IIT Kharagpur. Avoid these if you're somebody who's very sure that finance or marketing is what you want to do. Any questions? Having said that, in case you're looking to extend on your experience, keep to these kind of roles, then definitely it's a very good college. Again, IIT Delhi is a college that is good if you have work experience. As a fresher, I would not say the best of colleges given these kind of roles help if you are having work experience. Unlike marketing, which is more relevant for fresher, but this is something where the IITs don't really do too well. So I would say you preferably go if you have strong work ex, go to either of these IITs. They are really good. Again, IITs is a brand which is again a reasonably good one. Note we're talking about a regular MBA again, not the MHRM program. The MHRM program is something you can look at a definitely a much lower percentile than the IIT Kharagpur, the regular MBA, which is really pulling up. And again, batch size is an advantage here. But having said that, do not skip some of the other better B schools just because of average CDC, because of batch size. Because please note, you've got to look at the other aspect to it as well. That is, you're doing an MBA for 20 years. Rachit R doesn't work as easy as that. You've got to look at how you're performing in CAT, and generally you can take a call. Devak, SPSMRT is something we've already covered. No, SPSMRT, sorry, we've not covered. SIBM Pune we've covered. SPSMRT will be covering very shortly. Very shortly we'll be covering SPSMRT. SIBM Pune we've covered. SPSMRT will be covering very shortly. IIM Udaipur comes in next amongst the new IIMs. So after IIT Delhi and KGP, we go back to the new IIMs with IIM Udaipur. So Udaipur, again, the geographical location is a bit of an issue, but given that you have smaller batch size, you can definitely scrape through with decent placements. Again, new IIMs, I would still say, is best bet if you have a bit of work experience in place. Next up would be IIM Rohtak, which is again a little geographical location wise, not the best place, but again, IIM brand stays in. And remember this, if you look at 15 years back, a lot of people compared two colleges, that is IIMT Ghaziabad and IIMK. These two are compared in the same light 15 years back. Why? Because IIMK was very new. That time IIMK was just like today's IIM Ranchi types. But tell me guys, today's date, will you say an IIMK alumni from 15 years ago is same as an IIMT alumni? No, you would give a lot more weightage to IIM Kozhikode. So please, we factor this in our rankings. Please understand this, it is not just based on your average CDC. Suraj, with your ACADS, you definitely have a chance at new IIMs, but you need to get at least a 95 plus, preferably a 96 plus to give yourself a decent chance to convert. And I hope you're part of this CAT Plus subscription, because then your chances of getting here will definitely be very strong. Some of the new IIMs are moving towards their own campuses. It's a gradual process. Some of them are using shared campuses for the time being as well. Next, rank 27 would be XIMB Bhubaneswar. It is being rebranded XUB, but nothing changes much. Again, XIMB is a very good option because it gives you luxury to a variety of exams, CAT, ZAT, and a lot of other exams like XGMAT and so on. So it gives you multiple chances, just like FPGen gives you multiple chances via CAT and ZAT both. Note, XIMB Bhubaneswar is a very good option, one of the best options for those who are from Orissa, because they have this Orissa domicile thing as well, which means people with a relatively less percentile from Orissa domicile can really get a chance at one of the top 30 B schools in India. Obviously, Rachit, any day, IIMs would be better if you're getting an old IIM that will be better than one of the IITs. But again, in case you're comparing one of the new IIMs with the IITs, look at the comparison we've drawn. In case you're comparing one of the IITs with the baby IIMs, then I would say the better IITs, the old IITs, are a little better than the baby IIMs. Finally, Devark, the college that you were looking for, FES MRD. FES MRD is good for two primary profiles, that is marketing and HR. So we've already talked about HR part. It's also pretty good for marketing. Recent years, there's been a little bit of a challenge, a lot of complaints from the students regarding the placements and so on. So that is something we factored in. That is why there's a bit of a drop in the rating for FES MRD. But as such, it is again another very strong brand. Okay. The next one is IIM Kashipur, which was the remaining new IIM that other than the new IIM we are talking about a model of all 6 IIMs plus Shillong plus 6 new IIMs plus the other baby IIMs. So amongst these new IIMs here, 6 new IIMs, Kashipur is probably the 6th in the list. It's at rank 29. So again, as you can see, we've not clubbed all the 6 new IIMs together. We've grouped them a little differently. Rank 30 is one of my personally favorite colleges, Mika. Now somebody wondering why Mika one of my favorite colleges. So I've been taking GDPIs for almost 4 or 5 seasons now, and I would like to say one thing. I've interviewed people who are aspirants of various colleges across these years, taking mock PI for a lot of leading institutes in India and so on, and I would still say Mika aspirants do stand out as far as the interviews goes, their creativity goes, their ideas goes, the interesting perception or interesting way they drive their interviews. Mika stands out from the rest. Having said that, I would again say that I advise 80% aspirants to not join Mika, only 20% aspirants to seriously consider Mika. Why is that? Mika is only good if you believe you're really that creative, that spontaneous types. Then only Mika is an awesome college to join. In case you're somebody who's not that creative, not that spontaneous type, I would say it's better to avoid Mika. Why? Reason is simple. Mika gives you a chance at communications industry, branding communications, media related stuff, and marketing in those domains. All of these require you to be somebody who can speak volumes, who can be creative, who's a good speaker, who's somebody who can articulate well, get creative thoughts, process. Media industry is not something where everybody can survive. So if you're very strong on extracurriculars, Mika is a very good college. Otherwise, I would say just treat it at 80% and let it pass. LFS Shivaji, IITIM is definitely something we've given importance to the brand as well. But again, IITs, maybe we've also discounted the fact that IITs, there is a perception of MBA being secondary compared to IIM, which is treated as MBA as a primary. IIT has a secondary bit of aspect to it, which is why we've kept that in mind as well. We've done with the 21 to 30. Before we move on to the next, I would like to inform all of you just joined that the CAT Plus subscription enrollments are going on. You can subscribe for a yearly pass to get access to all my courses round the year. You'll get access to the videos for round the year and so on as per Unacademy Plus policy. The classes start for the DILR, which is the most important course, which has seen a lot of aspirants scaling from 70 percentile to as high, 70th percentile to as high as 99 plus, including 99.99 plus from somebody who failed to score less than 20 in DILR. You look at the youngest people who cracked CAT this year, Samita and so on, they've all been a part of this DILR live classes. They've managed to become people who hit the headlines on the newspapers and so on. Remember, this is going to be DILR learning like you've never done before. Make sure all your friends, all your juniors are being part of this course. But now you have to subscribe to CAT Complete Pass. That's available on unacademy.com/plus. Make sure you're subscribing to CAT Pass. You get unlimited access, not just to my videos, but those of all the top educators in all the live classes. The content would obviously be a lot different from what is in a free channel. Free channel is getting glimpses of it, but you can understand if that has already benefited you, the plus course with the kind of enthusiasm we show in the live classes is something which will be an infectious way of changing your outlook towards DILR. 9th Feb, classes start. Make sure you're subscribing to the pass well before that. We'll move ahead with the next ranks. Rank 31, we'll put IMI Delhi. Now I understand rank 31, rank 32 are pretty close colleges. IMI Delhi and IMT Ghaziabad, we thought a lot about it as well. But after thinking a lot, we still went ahead with IMI above IMT Ghaziabad just because of they are very comparable, and there have been a lot of negative reviews on certain policies in IMT Ghaziabad in the recent times, which is why we've given the nod to IMI Delhi. But having said that, IMT Ghaziabad is very good for marketing. So in case you're sure that this is what you want to do, then make sure you're going to IMT Ghaziabad. Otherwise, IMI Delhi is definitely your option. Last year, we kept IMT just ahead of IMI Delhi, but this year, on the back of a little bit of negative news that has circulated, which has affected a little bit of corporate as well, they've gone into corporates, I would say IMI just ahead of IMT, given that batch size is also something you look at, because ROI, as you go deeper into the colleges, please note, when looking at the top 10 colleges, you might say ROI is less important, but as you're looking at beyond the 30 colleges, I would say ROI starts becoming a little more important. Rank 33 is Sydenham. Again, Mumbai-based college, not much known outside the state. So again, I'm looking at this as India as a whole, Indian aspirants as a whole. Rank 34 is Goa Institute of Management, GIM, and rank 35 is a very close competitor of it, that is TAPMI. GIM also has an achievers round. In case you have a very good profile, you have a good chance. If you have a good profile going to GIM, it's definitely a very good opportunity in this range. Now, in this video, we've only been covering the top 35 colleges. However, what we'll be doing is I'll be addressing the questions that are coming outside the top 35 as well. For example, somebody asked about IIM Nagpur, so that will come in the baby IIMs thing. So that is only after you've exhausted all these options. They only look at your baby IIMs. Please note, baby IIMs is a risk, and it's often wise to look at CAT again compared to going to baby IIMs, especially if you're a fresher. If you have a couple of years of experience, you can go to the baby IIMs after exhausting these options. Some of you said about GL. Great Lakes, I would say, is not a good option unless you belong to one particular segment of audience, that is an IT with 3+ experience. If you're somebody who's from an IT background with 3+ experience, then GL 1-year program is a very, very good program. Otherwise, I would say Great Lakes is not that good because 70% of the placements get placed in related to IT, related to technology, related to consulting, related to technology, and so on. If you have absolutely nothing to do with IT background, then avoid Great Lakes. So I would say XIMB still any day over IMT or IMI. Please note XIMB is a much stronger brand with a lot more recognition in it, and there is an Accelerite connect to XIMB as well. For the rest of you who have your queries, what you can do is the CAT preparation by Unacademy Facebook group, or in my personal group at the CAT preparation with 100 percentile group. Also, you can connect with me, or you can connect with me via other mediums, via our Unacademy groups and so on for the details on further colleges. I would like to inform all of you, this is what a subscription model looks like. So you have these three options I was talking about. This is the course link where all of you can go and be a part of Unacademy Plus. So make sure that all of you are being a part of Unacademy Plus. This is the course link that I've given here. Make sure all of you are enrolling at this course link. Remember, 9th of February, my classes start, so do not delay any further. In the comment section also, I've given you the course link, including for those of you wanting the course link of my particular DILR course. You can get it by searching for a DILR course starting on Feb 9. Before that, everybody subscribe for a CAT subscription pass, which is unlimited access to all the live classes by the top educators. Note, courses for CAT will be running throughout the year. You're starting with DILR, moving on to quants. DILR, after DILR, moving on to quants. I'll be moving on to verbal tips as well. I'll be moving on to GDPI. I'll be looking at that courses, SNAP courses, and all of these things in details. Make sure all of you are part of this. So we are done with the top B school rankings. I hope we were able to give you very good insights into what the rankings are like. On that note, on behalf of myself as well as the team Unacademy, we would like to wish you all the very best, and hopefully on Feb 9th, I'll be connecting with most of you in our first live class on the new Unacademy Plus subscription model. Make sure all of you are subscribed by them. In case you have any doubts, you can reach out to me via the CAT Preparation 100 percentile Facebook group or the CAT Preparation Unacademy Facebook group, and I'll definitely clarify your doubts. Once again, on that note, all the very best from me and team Unacademy. Thank you everybody and happy learning.